Engine's fully done, looking really good, and yes, it's gonna make power. Cause last time we degreed the cams to the specification and got the lobe centers correct, and we came from this all the way to a brand new condition engine in and out. So the block is assembled and we finished the head right now. So we're gonna strap it on. Yes sir, yes sir. The things that you like, and of course we're gonna torque everything and get all the accessories done and installed. Have this ready. So hey, this will be fun because we'll have tidbits for you. Let's go. Okay, first things first. Here's our new page. It's got 286 likes and 373 followers. We got like that. We gotta keep this going up. As you can see, we got a pinned price list there for the locals and if even the international ones because you can compute the calculations with a forex exchange. And of course, here we post technical stuff. Like on this one, it's all about the fastener assembly lube and all the good stuff. And here we also updated with the channel stuff and of course tuning stuff. We randomly share this stuff on there because it's not all the time that we can randomly include it on the content on the video that we're making for you guys. So it's worth following and liking the page. So I'll see you guys there, all right? So now, this is where we stand. The head is fully assembled with the Ferreira flat-faced valves. Yes, sir. Okay, here you can look close. The SuperTech valve spring and retainers, our favorite valve train to use. Yes, it's all good. It's always installed. You can't really see it, but it has Ferreira valve seals, intake and exhaust. And let me show you this. Wait, let me lift it. Yes, skunk to lost motion assemblies. This way, when it's getting used for hill climb and it's daily driven, it's not gonna get all stressed and like the old aged factory lost motion assemblies because they usually make noise when they're all tired and done with its service life, exceeded it. Now let's head on to the engine stand. Ooh, this is exciting. Here it is. Oh yes. The ARP head studs are there and ready, hand tight or 10 feet pounds torque. We usually just do it hand tight. Now we carefully lubricate all the threads of the head stud. This way, you get the proper torque readings and proper clamping force. And you gotta check the page. I talked about that on a post there about the clamping force versus oil and assembly lubricant or ARP assembly lube. It's very important to check that out. Right, here you go. You carefully put that. I had to use a glove because I don't want to touch the deck with the assembly lube after. It's gonna ruin the sitting surfaces when it's freshly resurfaced, block and head, and a brand new head gasket. That's gonna be really good. All right. Now here we go. Time lapse. This is gonna take forever. All right, almost there. Last one. All right. Now all we're gonna do is use 3-bond or Honda bond, which is the same, on the oil drains. This is suggested by the factory manual. So I don't know why locals will build an engine when it's freshly resurfaced on the block and the head and then still use copper spray on a brand new head gasket. Why? I mean, locally, those who do that practice, did you know the head gasket has a Teflon coating and when you spray copper spray, it boils up and doesn't mix well? So what you're doing is actually ruining the Teflon coating. The copper spray is okay if you're gonna reuse a head gasket for emergency use, but on everything new, why? And I'd bet you guys still blow head gasket and we've never experienced that while following instructional manuals or OEM factory approach. And that's what it says in the factory manual. So, hey, if you're using copper spray because you're uncertain what you're doing, in the first place, why are you building engines if you're not sure, right? And why are you doing that to other people's money, like your customers? The factory manual is available online, so stop being a shade tree mechanic. Now we're here, we're putting it on the drains, on the gasket, of course, because we got the bottom part on the block already. There. Okay, let me show you. We just put 3 bond, or Honda bond if you have, on the oil drains. That's it. The head gasket is bone dry and clean, of course, free of oil. All right. Now, take a deep breath and you get the head. Sorry, I'm the only one who has to take a deep breath because I'm carrying the head. Okay, now here we go. Peep on the hole of the head stud and get it there. There you go. All right. Now it's in place with the dowel through and through. All right. So now let's go get the ERP fasteners, the nuts and washers. All right. Here we go. I moved the phone back, the stand. This way it's more centered. Okay, you can see I use a screwdriver to align the washer into the head stud. And it's the same trick I do for the bolt, or for the nut, sorry. Here you can check. There you go. And then you align it to the head stud and just drop it in. Because, I used to just try to drop it like exact, but sometimes it just falls everywhere. It takes hours just to get the nut out. Okay, now here's hand tight. Everything is gonna be firm and secure. All right, now here, step one, 30 feet-pounds torque as per ARP. There you go. Yes, sir. Okay, 30 feet-pounds torque. And of course, we will time lapse the rest because it's gonna get too boring, right? Yes, sir. Okay, we'll take it in sequence. There, okay? My bad, guys. I didn't get to record the step 2. This is step 3, 80 feet-pounds torque, final. All you can see is really, really loud, the clicking sound. Yes. There. And of course, we time-lapse the rest. All right. And now here, either assembly lube or oil, you have to lubricate the rocker arms before slapping on the cams. We've built a couple of H22s locally, and we do this, nothing happens and no problem. But then when the shop decided they can actually rebuild their own, probably didn't do this. They rebuilt it and hey, it started eating rocker arms. We probably know why, right? Yes, you gotta be careful. Now we get the cams on to its home. Yes, and get the cam caps in order. There, and of course the cam rail or cam cap rail. Yes. We hand tight, it's just hand tight all the way before actually torquing it. Yes, okay. Okay, now we gotta time lapse this because it's gonna get a little bit too boring, alright? Yes. It just saves your hand. But hey, hand tightening is no problem. Alright, there you go. Let me unclip the phone, let me show you something. And when you look at the copper spray gasket users, here this area in the corner, it starts leaking, even if it's freshly built. Both corners. We know this because we actually used to use copper spray even on new build, but we stopped because hey, Honda knows best. Oh yeah, look at the valve train. Yes sir, next stage. We slap on the belt, and once we get the belt on, wait up, let me install this so you can see the water pump is brand new because everything is new in this engine, including the water pump. All right, once we get the belt on, we start to adjust the valve tappets or the lash this way, so you get to set the lash or the tappets when it's cold and never run before. This way, it's a cold setting properly so that on first startup and warm up, when it cools down or at least 24 hours later, adjust the tappets again because it'll be all different once again. But once you get to do that, in general, on the new builds, we do that after 1 month. And then after that, a regular interval, like 3 or 4 months after on tune-ups. And here it is, all complete and all done. And the header, this is a 4.1 TypeR copy. And yes, we know a tri-Y or a skunk 2 alpha header will make way more power, but this is all about torque and for hill climbs. So this could make around 230 to 235 horsepower, wheel horsepower, but a Skunk 2 Alpha might push it to 240 to 245 wheel horsepower. That's up to the owner, but he wants to use this for hill climb and of course the streets. So his first choice, this header, I told him it's worth a try and it's all good. But if we want more power, the Skunk 2 Alpha will do the job well. Plus, the owner, John Nico, did a planned or a good exhaust system for this engine. It's going to have 2.5 inches diameter resonator, about 24 inches long, and then after that it's going to be a 3-inch diameter piping all the way to the muffler. So it'll have a full exhaust length, but definitely and absolutely no restrictions. So hey, we'll all be curious on how much torque this will make and how good of a response it's going to have for hill climb. That's going to be perfect. And remember, on other videos, on previous videos, I'll talk about this part here. These are the oil drains. So when the head is filled with oil, it drains back to the block down here in this area, right? But the problem starts when you have crankcase pressure pushing out the valve cover. It pushes it up, so it fights it. Now let's look at the block on the earlier days. Here you can see this is the oil drain, but if the blow by from the piston ring is pushing upwards trying to breathe out here, it's limiting the amount of oil you can drain. That's when you start spewing oil from the valve cover to the breather. And here you can see this part here is the factory breather box, right? And we remove this like the B20 and add this extra breather to the catch can. So let me show you guys and show you how the factory is. Ta-da! Okay, we got an extra fitting for the breather to the of the block to the catch can. And if you look closer here, let me show you. The factory catch can has a breather. This one goes to the PCV onto the intake manifold. But look, there's another hose that goes to the upper side of the oil drain. This supports exactly what I'm telling you guys, that on part throttle and idle, it pulls vacuum to alleviate pressure from the crankcase, even the valve cover. But then, anything above 75% throttle, the intake on the valve cover hose goes and start pulling vacuum. So when you think about it, Honda knew exactly. So this B16b has officially become a killer setup with the air carbon fiber intake manifold, the blocks B266 duration cams. All this is gonna be crazy good and crazy fun for hill climb. It's gonna terrorize the competition. That's gonna be so cool. And one thing I'd like to mention is also this one. If you're in the NCR region or Kansas City area, there's a place called Honda Lab, and it's run by Joseph Stone. He's a good guy, and for all the maintenance stuff that and help that you need, you can check on him because he knows what to do, and he'll always get you on the right direction. And if you remember this video on my car, my engine, we're talking about tuning and stuff. Oh, Joseph Stone knows all about that because that's all we do. We talk about tuning and engine stuff all the time. Oh, and Joseph Stone is building a sweet, sweet SIR that's gonna dyno, and I know it's gonna surprise a lot of people, so watch out. Alright now, so back to the engine. Oh, it looks really, really good. It's starting to look really awesome. And the valve cover is actually powder coated. So wait up for the next one because we will show you the finished EK hatch. This one makes it an EK9 all throughout. Yes sir, B16b, making good power. And of course we're gonna talk about and show you the dyno once it gets to that. But for now, all the details on the engine is for you guys to know and to have. Here you can see the Golden Eagle cam gears and blocks B camshaft and oh, the air CF intake manifold. It looks so, so good. And actually I can start to visualize all the four stroke cycle now coming in from the intake here, and then combustion and then out of the exhaust. Oh, it looks good. I love staring at the engine this way. And of course, if you're liking this video, subscribe if you haven't so that you're always updated of the new stuff. And for the next episode, click it here.